Good. So I'll turn that off. I think we should be live here. All right. I think we're live. Let me preview it on my phone. Okay. I can see some people. Excuse me, I have cough, so my voice might change from time to time. Please, if you can hear me, can you leave a reaction or something so I know that you can hear me? Or you can just write in the chat or something so I can just know like you're with me. You can either leave a reaction or type in a chat so I know that you're with me if you can hear me. If anyone can hear me, you can just type in the chat or leave reaction so I know that you guys can hear me. Okay, let me just ask a poll. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, good. So, excuse me, like I said, I have cough, so I might be doing that frequently, but please just pay attention to what we're getting taught today and not that. Okay, good. If you haven't already done so, guys, please you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. Okay, so without much ado, we'll proceed. And today's class is recorded, so like if you're here or if you're not here, you can always come back to rewatch this. So it will always be here on YouTube, right? Yeah, so that's some beauty of using this to stream. So if you guys were present in the last class, you know that we're trying to solve a problem, right? So the problem we had from our last class, just give me a second, I'm trying to load my X. Well, the problem we had from our last class anyway is that this section, that's this part of the application, that's Twitter on your personal computer or on your laptop. When you scroll this section, this one also moves. So we're trying to create a scenario whereby Twitter behaves such like Figma, such that if you're scrolling in the middle section, which is here, it doesn't affect here, neither does it affect here. And if you scroll here, it doesn't affect here as well, it just affects here. So that's what we're trying to do by redesigning Twitter now and giving it interactions that suits the solution to these problems that we're trying to solve. I hope that makes sense. Do you guys understand so far? You guys understand so far? Okay. Just give me a second. Once this loads up, I'll just show you in real time. I think because I'm streaming, the network is quite poor. Okay, so as we can see now, I'm scrolling through this middle section, right? And we can see this section on the right also it is also responsive when I scroll on this middle section, which isn't supposed to be, I want to read this through later, which isn't supposed to be so. How we want it is that we can, you see, when we scroll up and down, this is, just moves on its own. So I want to be able to scroll this independently and then scroll this independently. So basically, we started off by building the design firstly. Which we're doing now. And there was something I was emphasizing on when building. It's called the box model or container structure. Right, so it's even evident in the way I have my layer set up. So this is the main parent's container, right? This X dashboard is the main parent's container. Now inside this container, there are other children. This is one child. This is another child. Then there's supposed to be another child on this vacant part of the right. Right? So that's how we build with box models. You can see that this navigation is inside this dashboard. This content section is inside this dashboard. It's easy for developers to understand when you design like this. And it's also easy to hand off designs, to make the designs responsive. Whatever you're trying to do is easier to do if you design using the box model, right? So let's just continue from where we stopped last week. If you have any questions, you can write it down. You can ask me in private, or you can ask here. I would answer any questions, right? So I'm just trying to set the tone before we continue. So now I want to do something real quick, right? So if you see here, I want this to be 16 from the bottom. Why? Because this container has 16 padding on the top and 16 padding on the bottom. But I have 28 spacing from here to here. So how can I do that? So I'll just do it really simple, right? So what I'll do is I'll just make this okay, this is fill container already. Okay. Okay. Let's calm down. You can see 16 now, but it's too far from here. 52. That's way too far. So let me just put spacing in here. Let's make this 4E. I'll make this 4E as well. Right. So what's the spacing now? From here to here is 38. That's 6. I think. Hold on. This should be 36. And then this should be 36 as well. Then from here to here, 44. Alright, that's calm still. Okay. I just wanted this to be at the bottom. I wanted to exhaust the spacing. Like I wanted to exhaust the space. I don't know how to explain it, but I just wanted to exhaust the space. Before, this was 28 from the bottom. I wanted it to be at the bottom because the space from the bottom to the first element is 16 pixels. That's what we call padding. That's the 16 you're seeing here. It's called padding, right? So it means that this element now is sitting at the exact bottom of this page, of this, because if you look at this box, right? This box called navigation, it has 16 here. So that means there's 16 on the top, 16 on the bottom. So I wanted to exhaust the spacing by making this one touch the bottom and making this one touch the top. That's what I literally just did. So like I said, if you have any other questions concerning design, you can just ask them here, or concerning what we're talking about now, you can just ask them here. I would answer them or answer them later, right? So that's good. So let's continue. So last class also we built this, this section, which is this here, right? Which is this here, right? So let's continue. We are on this section here, this middle section, right? We called it the content section. In our own design, we called it the content section here, which is this, right? So if you notice, this element is longer than the container it is in. It is 14 pixels wider than, you can see the extra 14 pixels here, wider than the box it is in. But we want it that way. Why? Because if you come on Twitter here, you see that these tabs, they scroll left and right. So the only way you can get that same effect is by having, like a longer section is longer than the width here that it is being hosted in. You can scroll and all of this excess would be able to scroll into space. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's basically why we have it like this, so that we can enable scroll on this particular section. Let's just continue. Over time, like a lot of all these things will make sense. So let's build this next section underneath now, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the little elements. I'll start from this avatar and the names and the, all of these. So let's start small. I'm going to click on frame. That's F on my keyboard, and I put it inside this content section, like you can see. Let me just close this again. So I'm in the content section. You can see I have my top tabs. That's what I named this. Then I have my frame now. This is what's here. I'll just give this a color so you can see it. Then I'll make the width fill container. I want it to, fill this its parent container. Then what do I want? I want it to have stroke on the outside. I think we already have a color for stroke here. I'll just come and pick it. 5F, 5F. So copy that, come here. I'll paste it here. Now I'll paste it here. Now take out the fill color. So now you can see. So now you can see. Sorry, I'll just make that center, not outside. Let's make it center. Yes, sir. So yeah. So now let's see it in comparison to what we're trying to be. Okay. Okay, so now we have this box, right? So I'm going to name this, I will name that box tweet. I will name this box tweet. We'll first make it an auto layout. So the reason why we use auto layout, like I explained before, is so that we can manipulate sizes, manipulate elements easily, spacing and layout of elements easily using auto layout, right? So basically what I mean is this. Let me draw a frame outside. This is a frame, right? If I want to design, for example, I can say, okay, let me bring a frame inside here. I'll draw a frame. I'll give it a stroke. Put it here. Now I want to draw another frame. I'll bring that frame here. I want this one to be long here. So I'll bring it here. I want this and this to have space of 20. So I'll bring this one over here. Check it, 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check it again. Now it's 20. Then I want to have another one beneath. Now I want this to be 16 from here. 16. So all this is good and fine, but all of this is long. Like all this is like long journey, long. Like you're just winding yourself. When you can just say F, click here, drag it, right? Click this too, create an auto layout, Shift A. Do I want it to be vertical? Do I want it to be horizontal or vertical? I can say, okay, let me leave it to be vertical like this. Then the space between, I want the space between to be 24 like this. Then I want to, what do I want to do? I want to duplicate this frame now, right? And I'll delete one of this frame, so I'll have one full one here. Then I'll just draw this one here. Sorry, I'll make this one I feel container. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Where is this? This is this, right? Okay. So I would just drag this down here, which is the frame. Then I'll bring this child, right? Child element. Also, I can just make this an auto layout first. So I can say I want it to fill container or content. Or I can just want to fill container like that. So basically you can see how easy it was for me to, and if I want to put these 3 elements inside this big frame now, I can just do this. I can say, okay, here I'll select this, and say I want to create an auto layout. Then I want the padding to be 80. Then I want this to be 80 as well. Then I want to give it a color. Say almost black. You see how I was able to just do that really easy, like, and all the spacing is right in my palms. If I want to adjust the spacing from here to here, I'll just click on this frame. You can see this is 44. If I want it to be 20, it's done. But if I want to do the spacing now here, I have to come here, check what was the space, 20. I want it to be 40. I have to move it again, 28, 32, 40, 44, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, calm. I want this one to be longer. I'll draw it down. No, I want this one. Like, it's just too much stress. But with this, it's so much easier. If I want to add another, I can just say, okay, you know what? Control D. I have another one. Do you understand? If I want to add another layout here now, I can just bring another frame, put it inside here, right? Give that frame a stroke. and say, okay, I want to put this two in an auto layout, Shift A. Then I want this frame to be under. So I'll just say do this. Like, you can see how we are already just manipulating spaces and easily, like very, very easy, right? It's very, 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 very easy. If you want to change the layout, you can say, okay, let's just change it like this again. Like, you understand? If you want to change the layout of this, you can change it like this. Like, it is so easy to manipulate elements and spacing. You guys are understanding it? Are you following? Okay, so excuse me, that's why we use auto layout over regular frames, right? Just showing an example because it's easier to just manipulate. So I'm going to delete all of these so we can focus back on what we're learning. But are you guys following so far? I hope so. Anyways, so yeah, back to where we are. So I'm going to name this frame tweet. I'm going to name it tweet. Now I'm going to also make it it's already an auto layout, so I'm going to put a frame inside it. Now I'm going to give this frame 40 by 40 and also make the corners rounded 200 so it is like a square. I'm going to fill it and use Unsplash to give it a photo. So I'm just going to come to Unsplash here. Please give my network a second to load up. This thing no one load up. Oh. Okay, you know, I'll just leave the placeholder there. That's the, so when it thing should come up now. I'll just leave the placeholder there anyway. So when we're able to bring up the plugin,